Men, love is not enough. These are the 4 levels that every man must master in his relationships. Love is not enough. Attraction is not enough. If you found yourself wasting years in situationships or on the wrong person, if you've been stuck in these confusing situationships or wasting years on the wrong woman, it's probably because you don't understand these 4 levels in a relationship. I have watched men lose 2, 5, sometimes even 10 years with the wrong person. And the saddest part is that they get stuck in this level, especially level 2, and they think that they're building a future with someone, but they're actually chasing someone who never signed up to build with them. The 4 levels are admiration, attraction, commitment, and compatibility. Let's break them down. Hi, my name is Elena. I'm a registered psychotherapist qualifying and a relationship coach here at the Men's Mental Health Institute. And I work with men of all ages who are struggling with their love lives, helping them stop wasting time in dead-end situations and finally create relationships that they've always wanted. Men tell me often, Elena, I don't know how I got here again. And honestly, it's because no one's ever taught you this framework. What I'm about to share is one of the most important frameworks that men can use to protect their time, their hearts, their energy, and their value. All right, let's set the scene. This is the trap that most men fall into. A lot of men think that they can fix a woman or wait for her to change. And it's natural because men are solution oriented. It's natural because men are solution oriented. You see a potential with a woman, you want to build, you want to invest in her, you want to solve her problems, you want to find a way for the two of you to come together. So when a woman is maybe inconsistent or unclear or isn't really giving you any direction, instead of taking that as a sign of disinterest or having a lack of alignment, you see that as your need to try harder. Let me plan more dates. Let me take her out more. Let me text her more often. Let me call her more often. Let me spend more money. Let me show her that I'm the best man for her. You might find yourself you might be telling yourself, you know what, she just needs some time. Maybe she needs to heal a little bit. Maybe she needs to mature a little bit. It will take her some time to see that I am such a good option for her. She'll eventually realize that I'm such a good man. The problem is that rarely ever happens. So let's really get into these levels, okay? Level 1 is admiration. Admiration begins with one-sided interest. This can happen when you're at a bar, you look across the room, you see a beautiful woman, and right away it's like your world lights up, Wow, she's interesting. I want to go talk to her. Maybe you get to know her a little bit and you are genuinely feeling an attraction towards her. You might find her really pretty. You might think she's funny, intelligent, whatever it is. But at this stage, it's still pretty much one-sided. She either doesn't know that you're interested in her or that you feel attracted, or maybe she does know, but she's not feeling that same attraction towards you, or she just hasn't shared it yet. Now, level 2 is where there's mutual attraction. Mutual attraction, in my opinion, is absolutely necessary for any relationship to thrive because I feel like both people need to have a genuine desire for each other to want to wake up every single day, choose each other, and put in the work. The problem, though, is that level 2 can be a very dangerous trap for men. And I've seen many men in their 30s and 40s lose years here. Let me give you an example. In this stage, you have amazing chemistry with a woman. You guys are going out on dates. You're seeing her very often. You are maybe sleeping together, which is blurring some of those boundaries. You both seem very interested in each other, but you're beginning to develop those deeper romantic feelings and a desire for a relationship with her. But you either don't make your intentions clear with her, so you don't really have a structure of where it's going, or if you do make your intentions clear, she doesn't provide clarity back. She might give you a very kind of vague response of what she wants from you or where she sees this going. And this is why it becomes a trap. It's like being in a car, the engine's running, but no one's actually driving. It's like being in a car with the engine running, but no one is grabbing the steering wheel, so the car isn't driving. And we'll chat and we'll get deeper into why this becomes such a big trap in a moment. Now, level 3, the next level, if you've broken out of level 2, you got past the mutual attraction phase, this trap that a lot of people fall into, then congratulations, you're on level 3. Level 3 is commitment. This is where 2 people actively choose to build a life together. Commitment is so much more than just the titles. Yes, at this point, you may have that official title of boyfriend and girlfriend. You may be working towards having a marriage in the future. And this is where your shared values, goals, meaning, all of that really get tested. This is also the level where a lot of relationships can stop working if one person decides to kind of slack off. There's a lot that you learn from someone after you get into that committed phase with them. And if you realize that both of you are aligned, a lot of your goals are the same, you have the same kind of ambitions for your life, and you're both putting in that work every single day, then congratulations. You may have reached level 4, which is compatibility. Compatibility is what truly predicts if a relationship is going to work long term. This is what creates sustainability. Compatibility is so much more than just, the vibe that you get from someone and how much fun you have with them. But it's kind of like I just mentioned in the third level. To be compatible with someone, you have to be going in the same direction, right? You might kind of veer off into different paths here and there, but at the end of the day, you have a shared goal in life and you're both working along that way. And we'll get a little bit deeper into what compatibility truly looks like. But just know that if you reach this stage in your relationship, it's a really good sign that it's going to be long lasting and fulfilling. Now, why do a lot of men stay stuck at level 2? Why is this such a dangerous trap that I'm talking about? And I think the number one reason, at least that I've seen in my clients and that I've actually seen in my own personal life, is that it's difficult to ask those hard questions of where is this going? What do you want out of this relationship? Are you interested in things moving forward? How do you feel about me? How do you feel about a potential future together? If you're giving too much energy to someone without clarity, without knowing what they want back, without knowing the direction that they're going into. So in the second level, as I mentioned, as we talked about, this second level, there's that mutual attraction. Oftentimes it's expected that you, being the man, being the leader, is going to basically create the blueprint of where the relationship is going. You are basically paving the road. So think of it kind of as like an empty plot of land, right? You're really excited because the land looks good, it's nice, it's level, it's clean. But the thing is, no one's actually agreed to build on this land, right? So you're there, you're showing up, you have your blueprint, you have your lumber, you have your nails, you have your tools, you have your excavating machines, and you're doing that for a project that might only be existing in your mind. If a woman is not outwardly saying to you or showing you through her actions that she is desiring commitment from you, because trust me, you will know if a woman is desiring commitment from you. A lot of times women may ask you those types of questions like, what are we? Where is this going? If she's not doing that verbally or through her actions and you're pouring in so much energy, you're planning dates, you're spending so much of your time with her, you're spending your money, you are investing essentially without having any of that clarity, you might end up really heartbroken. And worse, you might end up spending years in this phase and then losing all this time on someone who actually would have wanted to build with you. I think what happens is what I've seen happen is that a lot of times men will be very clearly told, I'm not sure. Or I don't know if this is going to go I don't know if this is going to go anywhere. They'll get that kind of like hot and cold signal from a woman because most people are afraid to kind of sit there and say, no, I don't want a relationship with you, or no, I don't see this moving forward, right? Even if when a man kind of hears those things, sometimes what happens is this belief that, one day she'll change. One day she's just going to wake up and decide that, yes, this is what she wants. I'm what she wants. She wants to invest into this relationship. I just have to wait. I have to prove to her that this is the right place for her to be. If a woman is not sure about moving forward, maybe she's not saying yes, but she's also not saying no. She's kind of just keeping you in this little rat race, keeping you in a limbo. And usually it's for one of these 3 reasons. And before you ask, oh, Elena, how can you know it's for these reasons? Obviously, life happens in so many different ways. And there is a perplexity of things that could be going on. But from what I've seen in my clients, from what I've seen in the situations that they've dealt with, and honestly, from what I have myself done in the past, I will admit it. I have kept men stuck in this second space before when I was less emotionally mature, when I was less emotionally intelligent, when I was going through maybe difficult parts in my life. So trust me when I say that it's usually for one of these 3 reasons. Reason number 1 that she might keep you in this phase is because she's waiting on someone else. Maybe she has her eyes on someone else. Maybe it's an ex, maybe it's an old fling, maybe it's a coworker, whoever it is. And you may be filling that temporary spot as a placeholder. She's getting what she wants from you in that moment. She's getting your time, your attention. She's getting someone to, compliment her, take her out, make her feel good about herself. But it's not exactly from the person that she wants. So it's going to suffice for the time being, but it's never going to go to the next level because her eyes are on someone else. Number 2, she may genuinely be struggling to know what she wants out of her life. This can happen if you have met a woman who has just undergone a major change, right? Maybe she just moved to a new city. Maybe she got out of a long-term relationship. Maybe something changed in her health, or she switched career paths, or she's just in a phase in life where she's unsure of what she wants. It's not that she doesn't want to be with you, but it might just be that at that moment in time, there's not enough to basically push her forward to confidently say, yes, I'm willing to move in the same path, in the same direction in this relationship. Problem is though, if someone doesn't have clear direction of where they're headed in their life, then they are going to completely lead you in circles in your own life. And reason number 3, she may not be fully convinced by you. But please don't take this as kind of a sign that you need to go above and beyond to prove yourself, right? It's not an invitation for you to drop everything and almost kind of like disrespect yourself in the process to prove that you are worth it. If someone doesn't see your worth, your value early on into the connection, then maybe just take it as a sign that this isn't the right connection. Don't fall into the trap that things will change, because 9 times out of 10, they won't. So I really want you to ask yourself, like, why do you stay if you don't have clarity? Why do you stay if you're getting vague answers? And usually I've had people tell me, there's a fear of abandonment. I'm scared. I don't want to lose what I do have, right? Sometimes when we're going through changes in our life, especially I've seen it with men over 30, men over 40, it's that fear of being alone, right? A lot of times it's that fear of abandonment, It's kind of like wanting to be chosen so badly by someone and not wanting this person to go away. So you're sort of like willing to tolerate and go through whatever it is so that you don't lose what you have. For a lot of other people, it's the fear of being alone at a certain age. I've heard it a lot from I've heard it a lot from men that are over 40, I don't want to be alone. Therefore, I'll tolerate the ambiguity. I'll tolerate this pain and this back and forth so that I don't have to, face a life where I'm by myself. Sometimes for men, it's even like an identity shift. They become so attached to being the one who's the helper, being the one who's stable, being the one who loves more. It almost becomes like ingrained into them. And they feel like, okay, this is just who I am. I am the one who's always putting in more. I am the one who's always helping these women out. I am the one who's always more stable. That doesn't have to be you. You don't have to identify in that, because that is what is going to keep you stuck, and that is what's going to get you taken advantage of. And the final thing is usually the sunk cost fallacy. You might say to yourself, well, okay, I've already been in this for so long. Maybe change is coming around the corner. What's another couple months going to do? All right, let's talk about how to actually have these hard conversations, because by doing something that's difficult and scary and tricky, you can save so much pain in your life, so much time in your life. I want you to know that you have a lot of power, and that there's no point in time where you should ever beg for any other person, let alone someone that you are trying to get into a relationship with, trying to start a future with. There is no need to beg. Know your worth, know your power. And actually, there's like this weird thing in psychology where when a woman sees you as standing your ground, if you go to her and you say, I value my energy, I value my time, and I am very clear on what I want for myself, from my future. I have goals. I have this desire to build something real. And if you're not in the same place as me, that's 100% okay, but I'm going to need to move forward and find someone that is. You see how that was delivered so calmly, so steadily. There's not too much emotion involved, which can sometimes skew the delivery of your message. You are avoiding the use of ultimatums or timelines, because ultimatums don't work. Timelines also don't work. And they also just put unnecessary pressure on something that shouldn't need pressure. It should naturally flow. You focus on your standard, right? You're saying, my standard is that I am building something real. I want someone who's on the same page as me. You're not highlighting her behavior as like, oh, you're not giving me clarity. You're not telling me the direction you want to go in. You're not doing that. It's more so about your own experience. You're using those I statements. You're not pointing it back at her. If you do all of that, right? And this is usually the outcome that you're going to get. Either number one, that's going to really impress her. And she might think, okay, wow, like look how mature he is about the future that he wants. And he's very self-assured. And if I'm going to be with someone who is so intentional, then I need to really pick it up. I need to step it up. And this may actually sometimes lead into the relationship that you want. What you also might get is more vagueness, right? Oh, I'm just not sure. I'm figuring it out. Maybe give me a little bit of time. I just, I'm going through a lot right now. Or you may get like a no, you may get no response. You may even get kind of a disrespectful response. All of those give you your answer. If it's not 100% yes, I'm willing to meet you there, then it's a no. Now, we talked about compatibility earlier and why it's so important. And I told you guys that it's not just about vibes. It's not just about chemistry. You can have amazing chemistry with someone. You can go and laugh and hang out and have such a good time, but you can still be incompatible. Compatibility is less friction between two people. It's just more flow. Compatibility is found in your values. It's found in your morals. It's found in what you do every day when you wake up and you live your life, how you present yourself in the world. It's how you resolve conflict. It's not about not fighting at all. It's, can we sit together and make this work? Can we talk through something? It's about knowing the direction that you want to go into and both of you working towards it. It's about celebrating things in a similar way. It's about managing, maybe finances, managing how you raise your kids, managing how you interact with others in the world, and be feeling really aligned on that. You cannot outwork compatibility. You can't try to show up so hard for a woman to try to you can't try to overshow yourself for someone where you're just not compatible with them. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. They don't want to almost realize that this relationship is just not that compatible. It's might be a great person, might have a really fun time with them, but without that compatibility, it won't work long term. I want to talk to you about the self-respect factor, okay? Self-love, in my opinion, is protecting your time, your energy, and your future. If you think about it, your time is your currency as a man. Your energy is also your currency. Your future is also your currency. And when you don't let someone waste your time, you're basically telling yourself, I love myself and respect myself enough that I'm going to only invest in people who are willing to invest back into me to the same degree that I'm investing into them. So essentially, every time you're in that level 2 and you're stuck there for a long time thinking, oh, maybe this can get to level 3, you may end up wasting years of your life that you can't get back, which now impacts your energy and also impacts your future. And self-respect is not walking away angry. It's not walking away kind of feeling so defeated. It's just coming to the realization that, hey, maybe we're just not aligned, and that's okay. And I appreciate the experience, but I'm going to go and find someone who aligns with me a lot better. You have to also remember, you're the man in the room. So you kind of have to set the standard for how you want to be treated and what you're going to accept. If this hits you in the chest, if you've watched up to this point and you're like, oh, Elena, it actually feels like you just hit me in the chest, good. That means you're ready to make changes in your life and in your relationships. You really don't need another situation that drains you. I feel like at this point in your life, you need clarity, and this framework will really help you. If this resonated with you and you are sick and tired of wasting years in your relationships, putting in so much effort, not getting that effort back, you can book a one-to-one consultation with me. And in that session, we can talk, we can figure out where exactly you're stuck in this cycle. I can help you identify where you're stuck in this cycle and give you a clear roadmap of what we can do to move towards the relationship that you want, that's going to fulfill you in your life. The link is below in the description box, so don't wait because your time is so valuable to waste. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I wish you all the best, and I wish you all the love and happiness and flourishing, amazing realities in your relationship because you deserve it and you can get it.
Hi everyone, if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to follow us on TikTok and IG where we post daily and YouTube where we post weekly.